So to start, what is your cricket story and how did you first get into cricket?
I suppose I have an older brother and an older sister, so they would be down the cricket club, just sort of playing, and I'd obviously be there with my parents. We have actually quite a good junior setup from where I'm from, so we're at Stony Cricket Club, which, not to be biased, but I think we probably do have one of the best junior setups around. But there wasn't really a girls section at the time, so I think I joined in with the boys softball, just messing around, playing some games. And then when we got enough girls in, they started setting up a girls section, which was really good. Started softball, then got into hardball. Then we set up a women's section. I was actually too young the first year that we set up a women's section, so I managed to play one game. I was shattered and just had to field, but managed to get in for 1 year early. And then I think I got into county at about 9. So I got in quite early. It was just anyone who trialled was in, and it was brilliant because there was no way I was getting in any other way. And then I actually started out as a batter. So I think after the first year, so the second year, like no one wanted to bat. We were all like, oh, terrified, don't want to do it. I think in the first game, we were like, does anyone want to bat? I was like, oh, go on then, I'll bat. I think I got 26 in the first game, and everyone's like, I've never seen anyone score that many runs. And ended up batting that year, and then started bowling. So batting sort of took a back step and started bowling, started spinning. Just went through the pathway, and then the RDCs were around, so trialed for that. Didn't get in, but there was some like spin thing. So I think I did a couple sessions, just a couple spinners coming along. And then got picked up into the RDC, which then became the academy. Did a couple years in that before going to the seniors. And yeah, then a couple years in seniors and now under 19s. It's good.
That's brilliant. So who have been the sort of big influences, do you think, on your journey of cricket development?
It's quite a few. Got like the Rob Arnold at Stony. He sort of set up the women's section and did the women's stuff with us there. And then through county had loads of different coaches through the pathway, but I think Rob Mahoney with the women's section, I was really struggling with like confidence and just not literally being batting and just being like, I just can't face a single ball. I hate it. I really hate it. And he was like, right, let's just go back to basics. I'll just feed you some underarms and we'll just hit them and it'll be fine. So he helped me massively there, just sort of get over the mental blocks and everything. And then Chris Guest at Lightning and now Blaze, working with me for the past however many years, maybe 3 or 4. Yeah, he's been really good.
Yeah, and of course, like coaches are really important in that capacity. But I think our generation are quite lucky that we've had female role models and female cricketers to look up to. Who are some of the cricketers that you looked up to when you were younger?
Yeah, I watched a fair bit of women's cricket, to be fair. My mum used to make little booklets and we'd go along to the game and get their autographs in our booklets. I think I always really loved Lydia Greenway. Just thought she was a really good fielder. I just loved that about her. I guess Charlotte Edwards is always up there on everyone's list. She actually came to our club when we were younger and did a coaching session with us. She probably have no idea, but it was really cool. And then as I've gotten older, I know she's Australian, but I really like Alyssa Healy. I think just like sort of fearless batting, just sort of goes out just to whack everything. Who cares? It's kind of attitude. And then obviously like spinners, Sarah Glenn, Alana King, all the leggies that are around at the moment. I think they're obviously quite inspiring as a leg spinner.
Well, yeah, I don't know if you know this, Polly's a bit of a leg spinner as well. And Marie Kelly took her on tour a few weeks ago. They went off to Dubai, and Marie was helping Polly with her. In fact, Marie's probably within Blaze has told you all about how amazing Polly is.
My leg spin is absolutely appalling. So I massively admire when I watch people nail leg spin.
how anyone actually lands it on the pitch, I don't know. It's just such a difficult skill. So what are your top tips for Polly? To land it on the pitch, even.
Oh dear. Not really sure. I guess I just bowl and hope, and then see what happens.
Some people are naturally talented, and some people aren't. I think that's probably the difference. But anyway, you made your debut for Lightning a couple of years ago. What was that like? Stepping up to the senior setup after being in the academy.
Yeah, it was really cool actually. I'd been in the academy a couple of years and was like not at all expecting anything. It was kind of mental. I'd had quite a good year in that academy for the first half of the season, and then I think it was just before the 100, or maybe just after the 100. They were like, "You're going to come up to the seniors, just sort of train with us and be in the environment, like be good for your development and everything." Not at all thinking I was ever going to play. Even on the day of the game, I think the night before I was late to the team meeting in the hotel because I was at school. Went in the morning, got there early, just did a bit of bowling before the actual bowlers came in to warm up for the game. And then finished that, and the coach was like, "Right, you're going to play." I was like, "What? Really?" So it was kind of all a bit of a shock. I didn't really know what was happening. But it was a really good experience. Wasn't probably the dream debut that everyone thinks they're going to have. I think it's 7 overs, none for 50 something or something like that. But I think I was bowling against Alice Capsey and Bryony Smith, so always going to be a tough ask. But no, it's been really good couple of years being in the environment, sort of learning from everyone. Yeah, it's been really good.
Yeah, I mean, it's been amazing. So you're saying your home base is at Stony, Stratford, and you sort of come through the pathway in Northamptonshire. So how come you've ended up at Lightning? Because is Northampton in the Sunrisers area? Tell me about how that works, because I don't know how that works.
Yes, so at the times there was RDCs, so it wasn't the academies, there were just regional development centres. I think at that time Northants did actually go to Lightning. And then when they split off into the academies, obviously Northants shifted back to Sunrisers. But I was already there. I think on the forms you could say if there was a reason why you'd want to be somewhere else. And I was like, well, I'm already here. It's an hour door to door, like, because I'm Northants, but if you would, just the way it works, I would either have to travel 2 hours somewhere else for training for Sunrisers or an hour to Loughborough. And it was always like, I've always wanted to go to Loughborough Uni. I was like, it's where I want to be. So I was like, oh, just see if I can stay there, and I was allowed to stay, so that was all good.
Oh, Loughborough Uni. Tell us about that then. Is the UCAS filled in? Is that your plan? Is that where we're heading towards?
Yeah, application's been sent off. Got some offers through, so that's the hope.
Brilliant. Loughborough made your list as well.
Yeah, I got an offer from Loughborough, but I'm not going to make the grade.
Unrealistic grades, really, Loughborough, isn't it?
Mental. When I got the offer, I was like, oh, surely not.
I was like, it's going to be a lot of hard work, but okay. I thought maybe they would think, wow, excellent athlete, let's let her in, but no, they didn't.
No, they haven't heard. Well, they have heard of you
then. So of course Lightning has kind of changed its name and rebranded as the Blaze. A lot will stay the same with your team, but what kind of have been the differences and the changes since last season?
Well, I'm not actually in training too often because I've got school and the under 19 stuff, so I'm only actually in 1 day a week. But when we're there, I think it's just quite nice. We have like our own space and things. So at Loughborough, you'd rock up to training, you'd do your training, and you'd leave. Whereas now, like we can sit in the sort of our little team rooms. Some girls leave their kit there. Just feels more like a base, like it is your home. It's also really cool, obviously, being with Knots. Have a gym session, walk in, and all the men are there with the music blasting, them doing their gym work, and I'm just stood in the corner, like trying not to let anyone know I'm there. But it's really cool seeing them around. So I think that's really good. And obviously, because we've got our own space, we can do a bit more training and it's more structured. there's more that we're able to do. So that's been really good.
I want to know about netball. Is it not enough to be a international age group cricketer and you've got to be a netballer as well? What's all that about?
Yeah, it's pretty mental, to be fair. It's quite nice having two sports though, because when one's high, one's low, you've always got something to keep you going. Also worked out quite nice because one's a summer sport, one's a winter sport. So apart from this year where we've obviously got the under-19 stuff going on through the winter, I've never really had problems with clashes or anything like that. But yeah, cricket actually was around before netball. So I was playing cricket maybe 4 or 5 years before I started netball. And then netball actually took off a lot quicker. So I sort of got picked up really quite early. I was quite young. And one of the coaches just sort of identified me. It was like, right, I'm just gonna push you, I'm gonna drill you and just push you to keep going. So like almost like took me on as a little project. And it paid off. I got in the franchises. I'm in Saracens Mavericks, and I got in there. I think I trialled when I was 12, and I'm still there now. Progressed through all their age groups into 21s now. But yeah, it's been pretty crazy, but pretty busy. But everyone sort of is like, "Oh, how'd you do it?" And I'm like, "Don't really know. Just sort of happens." But no, it's been really good having the two.
I mean, is there a point at some point down the line where you're going to have to make a difficult decision, do you think? Or is it not a difficult decision at all?
I think there probably will be. I think I'm very reluctant to obviously give up either. I think I'm hoping at some point something comes out about potentially being able to do both if certain contracts allow. But at the moment, I'm not really too sure how feasible it's going to be carrying them both on. But gonna try as long as I can, hold on to them. But, yeah.
And within netball, what's kind of the level of professionalism? Because of course, with cricket, there's now the opportunity to get a contract at regional level. What's that like in netball?
Gonna be honest, I don't really know. I'm not at that level yet, so I'm not sure what there is. I have a couple of friends who have progressed that way because just being like training partners and things, but I'm not really sure what the deal is with their contracts. But that is definitely a hope of mine one day if I'm able to keep doing both to progress up. Because I'm currently under 21s, and so the next step would be like a training partner or potentially a full contract. But yeah, I'm not really sure what the professional thing is there. I know that quite a few have to have like a second job. Like I'm not convinced netball's something you can really like, you can just be a netballer. But who knows, if you can be netball and cricket, you could do a bit of both.
You think cricket's going to be your second job?
Well, I don't know.
Sounds good.
Yeah. And we spoke a bit about school before. Obviously, how do you fit that in as well? And you mentioned about Loughborough Uni as well. You know, kind of what do you want to study in the future, and how do you see that working alongside the two sports that you already do?
Yeah. When people say like, how do you do school? I'm like, to be honest, I don't. There's a lot of times where I'm like, oh gosh, got a bit of work due in, but haven't done it and everything. I always try and make sure when I'm at school, I'm really like trying to bang out my work. Our school's quite good in terms of when you're at school, you're studying. So I know a lot of people, it's like, oh, I only have to go in for my lessons, whereas I'm literally like 9 till 3:30. I'm in school and I'm working. But they've also been really, really helpful when I'm having to leave because I miss quite a bit of school for sport and whatever reasons. They're always really good at catching me up and helping me out and not putting too much pressure on. So I'm currently doing my mocks because our mocks are supposed to be in January, but I'm away in January. So I'm having to do them this week, and my teacher's just like, oh, don't worry about it. We'll pick it up in February when you're back if needed. Like it'll be fine, don't worry. So they've taken a lot of pressure off. So they've been really good.
Yeah, no, I was going to ask about that because my mocks I think they finished the day before the Under-19 World Cup starts. And obviously a lot of the girls in the Under-19 team will be in a similar position to you as well, having mocks. Kind of on that note, is it quite nice to be in an environment where everyone's in a very similar position?
Yeah, no, definitely is. I think this is definitely one of the best environments I've been in, where because obviously like I haven't really played much with my own age. I've always sort of played up. And when I have played with my own age, it's not been all cricket mad girls who just really love cricket and all have the same passion and everything. So it's been really nice. And then we're all obviously doing school and things, and everyone's attitudes towards that are a bit different, but we all help each other out. I was sat there, we were watching the football the other night, and I was sat there doing my schoolwork and asking our analyst to help me out, and because he does maths, and I was like, please tell me someone does maths because I need help. So we all help each other out. It's all good.
Tell me what it's been like then, because you've been up at Loughborough, haven't you? Training with the under-19s on every weekend for the last couple of months. Tell me what that's been like.
Yeah, it's been unreal, to be fair. I always think now like my weekends are my weekdays, and then my weekdays are my weekends. They're sort of the time I relax and do everything I need to get done, and then the weekends is where it really matters and where I'm having the most fun. It's been it's been really good. The coaching and the staff are all incredible. We always say quite a lot. We talk about how good our staff group is. And then the girls, it's so weird because you obviously come across everyone just throughout the year and playing against each other, but you don't really get to talk to them. And I'm actually quite a shy person. Like I don't really go out and speak to people very much. So it's been quite nice being in that environment. And obviously we have like school games and things, so you get to know maybe 4 or 5. So it's not like a massive I'm meeting 19 new people all at once. So I know roughly maybe 6 or 7, and then everyone else is just really nice. It's been really good. It's a great environment to be in, and the cricket is obviously very good standard. But yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to the World Cup starting.
I can imagine the cricket's a very good standard because you've got some seriously good players in that squad, haven't you? I'm interested. Who's the big social organisers within that group? I imagine this group comes together and everyone's a little bit, edgy and worried. Who are the big social organisers that get everyone together?
Yeah, we've got a few characters in our team. Obviously, like we're all from quite far away, so and the camps are quite full on. So it's more just when you're in the hotel, who's rooming you in, who's knocking down the doors, jumping on beds. So I think we've got some good characters. Maybe say there's some good pairings. I think Dav and Alexa Stonehouse. I think they're quite feisty together. They're good fun. Get on quite well with Soph Smale and Beth and Miles. We have some more contained fun when everyone's jumping around. We're like, right, I need a break. Mm. I think Jemima Spence, obviously not going, but it's not holding her back. She's very much in there, making herself a character. But no, it's good grief. Everyone's in there having fun.
It sounds like it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine it's kind of like a big school trip sort of thing every weekend. And then obviously when you're in South Africa, that's just going to be a whole new level. Like I can imagine the plane journey, everything, the hotel. Obviously when you're in South Africa, you are going to be a bit more focused on the cricket. But at the same time, there's plenty of time for fun and just kind of antics of being on tour.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Dav as well. We're from Birmingham, so she's from our neck of the woods, and I'm really excited about the impact that she could have on this tournament, being so significantly younger as well than the other members of the team. She's missing a GCSE marks rather than anything else.
Oh, it's so mental. I don't understand how she does it. I was saying to her, like, it just must be so mental for you. But she's so humble. Like you would not know. She's just like, well, like it is what it is. Like it's nothing special. Like, I'm just a girl playing cricket. Like I don't get it.
So kind of looking to the future, what are your goals and aspirations within cricket?
Yeah, got some high hopes. Obviously, the 100's really exciting, so I'd love to be involved in that. And then progressing up, getting a contract would be quite nice. And then like way off in the future, I think. See, we get to represent England now at under-19 level, but I think everyone would be lying if they said their main goal isn't to one day play for England in the senior team and debut there. So I think that's definitely where I'm hoping to be at some point.
That sounds good. You might have to give up the netball at that point, I think.
Yeah, maybe it might be a bit much.